Join me in welcoming Matt O'Donnell.
Yeah. Hold on, they got to fix me up. All right. I do this for a living, talk to people. This is pretty special. I'm a little jittery. My brother Pat is here. I see him right now. Say hi to Pat. My mom and dad are watching at home. Hi, Mom and Dad. My wife and my son and daughter are watching too. Hey, what's up? Finally, good morning, and given them from the Philadelphia area, yo. I wrote you a speech. I know you guys want to go out and party. What do you say? Let's get this done. President Sanas, thank you for the invitation. Greetings to the administrators, faculty, staff, parents, siblings, and relatives in attendance. What a crowd, by the way. Everyone told me you're all going to the beach. It's not true. And finally, to the University of Delaware class of 2025, in the house, congratulations to you. By the way, I'm proof that one day you might be standing up here too, delivering this. Pretty incredible, so keep your schedules open. It's great to be back home. I remember those 4 crazy years in Newark, Delaware. I remember trying to get the lay of the land, trying to figure out the difference between Memorial Hall and Old College. They look kind of the same. I remember getting nachos and a pitcher on Thursday nights at the Deer Park. And my feet getting stuck to the floor from old spilt beer. I remember studying late at Morris Library at night, then walking outside to discover someone stole my bike. I remember how it was not cool to wear bow straps on your backpack. And you shouldn't tuck your shirt in. I remember sitting in the student section here at Delaware Stadium, actually right out there, watching Tubby coach the fighting Blue Hens. I remember falling asleep during my late afternoon class at Kirkbride Hall every time. I remember almost failing out my first semester and then wising up really, really fast, getting almost A's and B's from there on out. I remember love seeing Mama jump at the Stone Balloon. No longer there. I remember Tau Kappa Epsilon, my fraternity. They're here. They know what that means. I remember how much I loved my Powers of the Presidency class with Professor Pica, my Introduction to News Writing class, Professor Jackson, my public speaking class with Professor Reichel. I remember not being the greatest candidate to get an on-air reporting job, but being the hardest worker. I gave up spring breaks, summers, weekends, moments with friends, whatever it took to get my resume out and market myself to any TV news director who would listen. Finally, someone listened in Binghamton, New York, where I was hired for my first TV reporting job. Thank you. It's a long time ago. All of this took place in BC, before ChatGPT. You know I was going to bring it up, didn't you? Let's talk about this. If I had the option to plug all my assignments into some chatbot program and have them done for me, let's be honest, I would have done it. And this is coming from someone who likes to write. So I will not stand here and judge those who have used it. Here's the problem. Our education system has placed so much emphasis on the results part, grades. It is causing some of us to forget about the learning part. If we don't care about the learning, we no longer care if our work is good, or even if we did it in the first place. We just care that it is done. ChatGPT has made us forget that learning is the hardest part, the most important part, and the most worthwhile part. Sure, they thought the invention of the calculator would make us inept at math problems, which is essentially true. They thought having an internet search option in our pockets at all times would make knowing pieces of information useless, like what year the Second Peloponnesian War ended, which was 404 BC, or who threw the pass in the Philly Special, which is Trey Burton. They thought the spread of social media would unite us all. And so now we have Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitch, Be Real. We have OpenAI, DeepSeek, Grok, Bard, Gemini, Falcon, BERT, and they are not going away. Where will all these large language models lead us? The worry is this: we will become a civilization that doesn't need to know things anymore. We will just de-evolve into sedentary beings that ride our lives through the waves of the internet, just like a river. Why didn't I just open AI this speech, which I didn't? Why am I even here? Why are you here? Why even bother? These new challenges we face are complicated. My goal here is to get us thinking about the solutions part. It starts with 2 quick stories about me and 1 big story about you, the class of 2025. So let's go. I'm a writer. I remember the moment I became one. I was in 6th grade. Sister Aline, my teacher, stopped me in the playground. She was holding up my paper. Our assignment in English class earlier that week was to write a profile of someone we knew. I chose my Uncle Kelly. He was a hippie in the 1960s. He rode a motorcycle in his backyard, and he was covered in freckles, including one on his arm that he insisted looked just like the White House. It actually did. I wrote about my crazy Uncle Kelly over the course of 2 loose-leaf pages. Sister Helene stopped me that morning to tell me how impressed she was with my profile, that she felt like she knew my uncle just as well after reading it. I was shocked. It was a moment of true teacher encouragement. I also remember the moment I felt I was a pretty good writer. Sophomore year, while in my dorm in Russell A. We have any Russell A's? Yeah! What a great view we had, right? Well, I was staring out into Harrington Beach, and my phone rang, the one that was attached to the wall. And that news writing teacher of mine, Dr. Dennis Jackson, was calling to tell me how much he loved a story I'd written for the review about a boy with Down syndrome who was playing basketball at the Special Olympics at Delaware. And I saw him make a layup. And my story about his authentic reaction, of pure joy when the ball went through the hoop, showing the true mission of Special Olympics, touched him. Dr. Jackson took the time to call me and encourage me. Writing came natural to me. From the 6th grade all the way to this wonderful day, I've been writing ever since. It is a skill I use every day, before, during, and after I anchor the morning news in Philadelphia. The process of writing is just being me. And so my advice for you is to be you. If you're good at something, do it. Find it, do it more. Now, being bold. Whenever I meet new people, they always confirm this: the most interesting thing about my life is the time I wake up. Nothing else matters. Yes, I do the morning news on 6ABC in Philadelphia, and I've met fascinating people, seen fascinating things, visited fascinating places, but none of that overshadows what everyone really wants to ask about: my sleep schedule. My alarm has been going off before 3 a.m. for the last 20 years, 5 days a week. Not even angry about it anymore. This means I go to bed before the sun goes down and I get up before the sun comes up. The shift has been brutal. But I've dealt with it through strong discipline, going to bed with the aim of getting 8 hours of sleep, hopefully, saying no to late events, and having the great support of my wife and my children. Plus, I have never hit the snooze button on my alarm, not once, in the last 2 decades. As a result, guess what? I've never been late to work. You cannot underestimate how much employers value people who show up on time every day and are actually prepared. If you do those simple things, be on time, be prepared, you will easily pull yourself ahead in your career. You also need to stick your head out every now and then. I spent my first 8 years at 6ABC on the street as a general assignment reporter. A job as morning anchor opened up, and despite the brutal schedule, I wanted it. And it was quite clear at one point I was not the top candidate. I decided it might be time to leave 6ABC and head to another TV station, maybe in another town. Luckily, my wife asked me a simple question. Have you ever told your boss you wanted the job? I have not. Duh. The next day, I walked into my boss's office. I told her with much affirmation and declaration as I could muster that the best candidate for the morning job was standing right in front of her, and it was not even close. Then, without waiting for a response, I said thank you, and I walked out, and I thought I messed up. I briefly thought being so bold was a mistake. My boss appreciated my boldness, my honesty, and my belief in myself, and I got the job. So, if you want something, be bold. Find it. Get it. Tell someone you want it. Finally, let's talk about you and being anxious. Have you heard? Someone wrote a book about you. It's called The Anxious Generation by Jonathan Haidt. It presents an uncertain and troubling outlook of Generation Z, of which many of you are members. You're addicted to your phones and your social media apps. You're reluctant to form in-person relationships. You are always so anxious. Guess what? When I was your age, I was anxious. So anxious. Generation X, as my generation is known, was anxious about getting a job, riding out a recession, the threat of nuclear war. We harbored the imposter syndrome before it became popularized. Older generations accused us of being slackers, and they warned us we would never equal the success of our parents. Sound familiar? Graduating college and entering true adulthood will be the most anxious part of your lives. There's no way around it. The true state of anxiousness is to be uneased or nervous, particularly when there is something within reach. So, advice here, being anxious is good. I read about you in the anxious generation. In some ways, I watched you grow up. My two children are members of your generation. My daughter just graduated from Elon University in North Carolina yesterday. It's been a long couple of days. Congrats, hon. She'll be working in forensic psychology. My son is an assistant baseball coach at James Madison University. My wife and I are so proud of them. By the way, this means that your parents, if they went to Delaware, they probably went to school with me, which is, I guess that's weird, maybe. But my wife and I struggled with the same things your parents did while raising you. Here's what I've noticed about watching you, Generation Z. You may be anxious, but you're also seeking authenticity, doing it in interesting and impressive ways. Some of you listen to records on record players because they sound, well, real. You take photos with old cameras because the pictures look more like the moment you experienced. Maybe some of you bought a flip phone so that it wouldn't be buzzing all the time, giving you FOMO. Perhaps you deliberately got lost and wanted to see what it was like without an EMAP application, or talk to a stranger during a free moment instead of doom scroll. You are doing these things because you are trying to experience what we took from you as parents when we gave you smartphones way too early and stopped allowing you to go out and play on your own. You are seeking authenticity. You might be the anxious generation, but personally, I define you as something different. You are the disruption generation, and here's why. Things are happening fast, faster than we can catalog with our brains. The media is changing, work life is changing, transportation is changing. The way we educate our children and young adults is changing, our government is changing, our realities are changing. Life is moving fast because it is becoming more convenient. And because our choices are becoming so endless, we struggle to make a choice. You would think convenience and expanded choices would mean, easier life. So real quick, go on Netflix and find something on your own to watch in 5 seconds. Can't do it, right? The amount of content is overwhelming. Why does it seem like life is only getting harder? This is a great contradiction. It's getting harder because we are doing it to ourselves. How many times have you heard someone say they hate their phone while in the same sentence proclaiming they don't know what they'd do without it? Ever hear someone lament that losing TikTok would be a crushing event, but that they also hope it isn't around when they have children one day for their sake? I'm hearing younger people say this all the time: the world is too scary to learn about it, so I don't like to know things. These seem like major warning flags to me. We can't stop using something we don't want to use. We hope our children won't be able to access a social media network we fumble with all day long, and we find life so upsetting we don't want to know anything about it. Why are smartphones making us seem so dumb? Why is AI getting its good grades but preventing us from learning? Why does it seem like an easier life is getting harder? That is on you, disruption generation. Sure, you could cease contact with other humans and only talk to a custom-made bot friend all day long. You could tell ChatGPT to write all your papers. You could spend all hours of your day waking up, binging the next season of The Desperate Housewives of Newcastle County, which is fake, but I think should be a show. You could never shop at a store again. Instead, just wait in your home for your food and your clothes and electronics and luxury items to show up in boxes. Today is the age where we can live our lives without having to live our lives. It is so easy that for many of us, it's getting harder. Maybe the solution is what you are currently seeking: authenticity. I suspect you, disruption generation, will use all these new tools of technology to disrupt, but also to improve. It seems logical to me because we humans have always innovated ourselves out of the real problems of history. Just a few. We created sewage and drinking water systems so we didn't live in filth and disease and died before the age of 30. We're talking about the possibility of colonizing other planets in our solar system to become a more galactic species. We may one day not need to work or earn income. We may one day not need to worry about sickness or pain or death. Throughout human history, we've always figured it out. Why wouldn't we this time? We've always progressed as a species because the opposite, known as regression, also means death. We choose progress, otherwise known as disruption. So be anxious, because it proves you care about what you're doing. And be disruptive, because it is the only way to make progress. Final thought. Almost time to party. My decision to attend the University of Delaware was among the best of my lifetime. This place allowed me to flourish academically. It gave me the runway to start a long career in broadcast journalism. And boy, was it a lot of fun. I would like to thank my parents for swallowing the out-of-state tuition and agreeing to send me here. Mom and Dad, you're watching. Thank you. I continued my relationship with my alma mater over the years, donating my time, my money, and my expertise. I love it, and I will continue to do it because our volunteer work produces results. They are sitting here right in front of us. That is my final challenge for you. I hope that as you begin your careers, start your families, and carry out your dreams, you too will find ways to contribute to the university. Come back, talk to us, stay involved, even if it means just stopping to take a selfie with UD. Thank you, good luck, and go Hens!